Ready to go?
And take one. Okay, so you were saying, where are you from?
Hey, no.
My name is Jared Elarmo. I'm from Rockland, California, which is north of Sacramento in Northern California.
Oh wait, who's this growling over here?
Yeah,
That'd be Ashlyn. That'd be Ashlyn. Our Australian Shepherd. Oh, hi, baby.
Yeah, okay.
All right.
Daddy's gonna do an interview.
Would you say you're passionate more so about football, maybe coaching, or personal training and doing it on a personal level? Or, I mean, can you incorporate both with coaching? What's your goal in life? What's your 5-year and beyond plan?
I mean, honestly, right now, I'm kind of at a crossroads. It's a weird place because I still have that what if, because it's like, what if I train my ass off and really push myself to go out and go outside my comfort level like I used to and whoop my own ass until I was throwing up, and like, how far can I push my body again? Do I want to do that and really play and see if I can just, one last hurrah before it's all said and done, so that way I get that out of my system? Or do I kind of strike it up and, keep on doing pursuing coaching and teaching and, just live it vicariously through my team, or, do the personal training thing, because fitness is so special to me and I'm so good at it. That's one of the, it's a tough part. I mean, it's just like one of those transitions. Like, I tell people, and I tell all the time, I never had a hard transition going from a child to a teenager, from teenager to a young adult, but from a young adult to an adult was the hardest transition. And learning how to transition those passions into making money has been another thing that's been really tough. And I think they don't teach that to anyone. And we're much different than our parents, because our parents, they didn't care what they did as long as they made money. Even if they're unhappy, hating life, it didn't matter. As long as they were providing, they didn't care. And they taught us opposite, to go for our passions and, you can be what you want to be, all that kind of stuff. And I think some of us really did take that to heart. I have. And what's different now is my mom lost her job at 55 and was making a ton of money as a VP, and now she can't get a job. Everyone wants her to do entry level stuff. So I mean, it's just. And now she looks back on life and she says, she's like, why did I struggle so much and do so much? And she provided for me, but that's where she sees the blessing of it. But now she wants the exact opposite for me. She's like, don't strive to make that money. Strive to do what you want, be passionate about it, and then that money will in return come to you. It's just very different. Like, I would say that I replaced football with fitness after I was done.
Right.
Because I associate myself as being a football player my whole life, or an athlete. That's all I associate myself. When someone asks, what do you do?
This?
I'm a football player.
I am filming this.
I'm an athlete. My name is Jared Elarmo. All right.
What's up, man?
Hey, how's it going, Bill?
Not much.
Cool.
Just wanted to see if you wanted to talk a little bit about, what you do, what kind of training you do.
Excellent.
Kettlebells, what is that? Stuff like that.
I do a little bit of everything. I dabble in fitness, I'd say. I do kettlebell training. I do functional training. I do plyometrics. I do sprint training. I do a little bit of CrossFit.
What makes you different?
Do you
want to rephrase that statement again?
I think what sets me apart from others is that I do all types of fitness. I think a lot of people focus in on one type of fitness, and I don't do that. Being an athlete, I thought that what made me better was that I played all sports, could play every position, and I think the same thing with fitness is that I can play with everything. I've been an instructor. I taught yoga. I've done a little bit of it all, which has really helped me out. And doing it since I was 16 has really helped me because it's just you get better every year that you're a trainer, just like you get better every year at anything else that you really focus on.
You've been doing what since 16?
Personal training.
You're a personal trainer since 16?
Yeah, and I trained inside facilities and all types. I trained inside 24s. I've trained, or like the big Globo gyms. I've trained inside small, regular flats that are just for personal trainers. I've done in-home stuff. I've done teams. I did schools. I've done it all. So I think that's what sets me apart is just how well versed I am in all different types of fitness.
Okay. Where did you go to school, and how did that lead to coaching?
I went to Southern Oregon University, is where I got my degree from. I originally signed with Fresno State out of high school for football. Then I got hurt and homesick and ended up at Sacramento State University. Was there for 2 years. I got hurt there, and so then I ended up going to Southern Oregon University. After that, I was there at Southern for 2 years, and I was training with Velocity Sports Performance at that time, working speed camps during the summers, and then I was in and out of 24-hour working as a personal trainer at that time as well.
Okay, let's talk about maybe some testimonials about maybe some of your previous clients,
Okay.
Some of their stories and how inspirational they can be, and kind of what their story is.
Yeah, I mean, one that sticks out is, I trained a couple, their names were Chuck and Sherry, and Chuck was old military brass, and he was injured in combat, and when he was injured, he lost what we all have as abdominal muscles, and so they replaced that with a mesh, and so he really didn't have any muscle there anymore, and he had kind of resided to the fact that he was never going to be able to do the same things and be able to function like a normal man would even after retired, and he still couldn't go out and go running or go out and go golfing because his midsection was gone, and so he didn't have that strength. So Sherry wanted to get a personal trainer because she wanted to lose a couple pounds, and Chuck, being a guy, didn't want his wife training with a young trainer, and so he came on the first session, and so I assessed both of them or whatnot, and Chuck, I was like, why don't you just jump on in, and so Chuck was all in, and so I started training both of them. And then from there, it just blossomed, and so honestly, it just became a friendship. I still stay close with them, and that's the way I am with all the people that I train.
So you say he couldn't he couldn't run, and he couldn't be active?
He could.
How did you help him? What did you do there?
He could do some things. I mean, he just couldn't. His endurance and all that kind of stuff, and definitely his mobility, all that stuff was very limited. The other thing that was really bad with him was their nutrition. His blood work was terrible. And I liked my clients to go get that tested before, because I've had plenty of clients that had that fixed within the first 2 months of us training. So
what does that mean?
So you just look at their blood work. So they look at your cholesterol levels, your glycerin levels. All those things are telltale signs of how healthy someone is. The thing with Chuck was, since he was an old vet, he was able to go to the vet clinic, which they can actually do, they do it as oxygen test, everything. So he was able to actually do a performance test with them and see what he was really, his VO2 was and all that kind of stuff, which was really cool. So the thing that was special was within 6 months, he had cleared every single one of those tests. So all his blood work was clean. And not only that, he was able to take a fitness test and actually do like the mile run with them and do all the sit-ups and all that kind of stuff that the military normally does, which was really cool. And so I mean that stuff was what really told me, hey, what you're doing is good. And that's why with Chuck, it was a totally different program than Sherry. Sherry was more, she wanted to slim out. Chuck needed to get stronger in his core and work on his balance, all that kind of stuff. He couldn't stand on one foot when we first started. And then to see where they, and every client does it, you start them off at the baseline and you watch them grow. But they're just one of those couples that grew together, and they still train to this day. And I still send them workouts right now. I mean, we definitely have a good relationship, and they really have taken on the lifestyle of, hey, we want to be fit and they want to enjoy their later years.